What's up, everyone? It's the BumCast presented by Green Valley Wine and Spirits, 344 Commons Drive in Bolingbrook, Illinois. I am your host, HBAC, the head bum in charge, along with just baloney. Dougie Fresh
me,
is
baby.
Just you. Dougie Fresh he's gallivanting out in the town tonight. On the
Date night for Dougie Fresh.
Date night on a Monday for Dougie. And
nice.
And Joy's going to be joining us second half of the show because we have our special guest, Rob Schwarz Jr. from the Halas Huddle podcast. He's going to be joining us. He's a friend of the show. I think this is a few times he's been on now. I just realized I have no light. Here we go.
Well, good thing you got the extra sunlight you got going on back there. The sun hasn't set yet, or has it?
It has. How are you doing on day one of daylight savings time?
Bad.
Is it daylight saving? What's the technical term? Is it daylight saving?
I don't know which. Are we in standard time now, or are we in daylight saving? Either way, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I think we've had this rant every 6 months since this podcast started, Jay. And it's the older I get, the worse like it hits me. Yesterday was a mess, and I blame myself. So hand up, we preach accountability. I watched 10 minutes. Give us 10 minutes to talk about the sun, and then we're hitting you with the food. So thank you for watching CD44. I took a massive nap in the middle of me watching golf on a Sunday.
Golf will put you to sleep anyways.
My wife and the kids were out. They had like a play date with one of Julie's coworkers. So I had the house to myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch baseball and golf all afternoon. And dumb me power napped through like a good 2 hours of that. So I couldn't go to bed, and like the hour changed. So like, you know, my body thought it was late or like earlier. I was a mess. I didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m. and I had like a 7 o'clock wake up call today. Or I mean, that's usually like when I get the kids ready and start getting ready. It's bad, man. This daylight savings got to end. Just figure it out one way or the other. I don't care at this point. I don't care which way it gets.
I like it as it is right now, and I know I might be in the minority, but we talked about this, Peter, right? We want golf during the week at 8:30 on a Wednesday. You know, you get off of work, you can play 18. You want some nice patio drinks at 8:30 at night, twilight patio. You know, I don't give a shit if the sun doesn't come up, you know, until 7 o'clock. I wake up later than that anyways. But I'm a night. Give me as much sun in the evening as possible, guy, in the summertime. Because, yeah, I want those nice patio vibes in the summer, man. Go out, kids can play out in the yard later before it gets dark out. You know, I'm okay with it. It takes you a day to get back. You know, people get jet lag. They're fine in 24 hours. I know the clocks go back. You take a nap, your body adjusts after a day, you'll be fine. But I want the politicians need to figure this shit out. Make it stay as is now. Don't ever change it back.
Both sides. We're looking at both sides of the politicians. Figure it out. I'm worried about tonight, Jay. Like I said, I went to bed at 3. I had to wake up at 7. Tonight, peek behind the curtains. We wrap up the BumCast. We have a little post-show talk between everybody, and I'm still like amped up. You know, like you have like adrenaline post podcast. So I typically don't go to bed early on Mondays either. This is going to be a long week for your boy.
Oh, quick super chat. Gordo, cheers, HBAC. Screw baloney. Yeah.
I don't like that, but I will cheers it, Gordo. Thank you for the
what do you got? What do you got there, Peter?
This is a thick boy. I got a
3
thick
C's?
boy. A little tease for the Green Valley Wine and Spirits ad. I've got a Bourbon County Stout, the Heaven Hill one.
Ooh, yeah, it's a good one. What's the ABV on that?
17.9. Once Rob Schwarz comes on this podcast, I'm gonna sit back and let you ask all the questions. I'll interject here or there, but I really don't have to talk until the nonsense segments when Joey P comes on. So I'm gonna take my time, enjoy my beverage on a Monday night. But no, we have a lot of Bears to talk about, and I will be talking Bears. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that is can't wait to talk.
OMG. Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't think I'm gonna finish this whole thing. I didn't realize how much it was until I started pouring, and shout out Dougie Fresh. He always tells me like you got to get one of those goblet glasses for the stouts.
Yeah.
I'm new to the stout game. I think this is like a regular Modelo, so I poured a full pint. My bad.
I like your, and you did a good job splitting the G in your attempt. You missed it by just a fraction. So good job. Check out the video on our Instagram if you haven't.
My guy Jerry O'Sullivan says that's not a thing in Ireland. Good thing I'm not in Ireland and I'm Mexican, so I'm gonna keep splitting the G's. I thought it was fun, and I got a whole week's worth of splitting the G to go. So I'm gonna keep doing them.
Yeah,
it did cost more than 19 cents.
Yeah, it did. Real quick before we get to our announcement, something I want to touch on that we talked on the show last week, and I said big old nerd Luke Cornett. He was mad about the Magic City night for the Atlanta Falcons.
Nerd.
They canceled it, man. NBA caved. They folded like a fucking paper bag.
The voices got too loud.
Yeah, they announced that they canceled the Atlanta Hawks planned in arena promotion for the game March 16th. Commissioner Adam Silver following statement. When we became aware of the Hawks scheduled promotion, we reached out to the Hawks leadership to better understand their plans and rationale. While I appreciate the team's perspective and a desire to move forward, we have heard significant concerns from a broad array of league stakeholders, including fans, partners, and employees. I think that's one employee. I believe canceling this promotion is the right decision for the broader NBA community. No, it's not. They were going to bring their famous lemon pepper wings to the event. They were going to have limited edition merch. There wasn't going to be polls on, center court or anything like that, But what about the wings, man? I think people want to know what. I didn't really realize this at the time that this place is a strip club is famous for its wings. I don't eat the food, but apparently they're
I
famous.
do like myself a good lemon pepper wing. So I'm not a strip club guy, but I would have gone and tried them at the Hawks game. So now you're kind of turning my rationale. It only took a little bit of food for me to change my reasoning. But you know what? Like the Atlanta United, they average a good amount of people at their stadium for the MLS. They got to come kind of cook them out of the promotion.
Yeah, when they get a packed house, then you'll see what the Hawks could have done. So, damn you, Luke Cornett, like little nerd, ruined a perfectly good promotion for everyone.
Tough scenes.
Tough scene. All right, we're gonna have our guest joining us in about 5 minutes. So I guess it's time to we've been teasing this all week. We were ready to announce it last week, but the paperwork was not signed. The T's weren't crossed, the I's weren't dotted, so we had to wait. And we figured since we had some time, we were gonna go film a video. And guys, enjoy Whiskey at Comiskey opening day. Here's our new sponsor.
Let's go.
Hey everyone, the Bums are here, and we're very proud to announce the Bums. We are very proud to announce our newest sponsor for White Sox content for the 2026 season. We've been teasing this for a while, but as you probably already recognize this man. It's Jim from JP Graziano's, and we're very excited to have him on board with the Bums for Sox season of 2026.
Excited to be signed on with you guys. Big fans, and we're going to develop a deeper relationship over the season here. And TasteRealChicago.com. You got all your Jardinier and Muffaletta needs. So we're going to bring it to all baseball season long. I'm going to get out of the way for the most part and let the Bums do what they do best.
That's right. We appreciate it. Dougie, tell us what we got on tap.
Yeah, so a lot of you, some of you have said you guys have never had the sandwich. We're going to give you that opportunity. Opening day, that is going to be our food. We're going to be having beautiful sandwiches. Mr. G sandwich is my favorite. Beautiful things. We're going to have those out in the tailgate. As long as they last, they won't last long. So make sure you're there early. We've already got over 200 people RSVP'd. So when they're gone, they're gone. So get there early. Outlot B. Let's go.
And on top of that, we got something special for you guys for the opening series against the Brewers. Jim, tell them what we're doing.
Yeah, screw the Brewers, right?
Yeah.
So the first 3 games of the season at the Brewers, jump on to TasteRealChicago.com, get to checkout, type in the code BUMS. We're going to give you 25% off anything you bought. Good for the first 3 games, and that sale ends right at the last pitch of the 3rd game. So take advantage of that.
Absolutely, and if you miss out, we'll be doing more promos and everything throughout the season. So we're very happy to be working with Jim and JP Grazianos. We're excited about this. White Sox content's going to be great this year. Sox are going to be better, and we're just happy to be working with a powerhouse Chicago brand.
There it is.
Yeah, welcome, Jim, JP Grazianos, Taste Real Chicago. Opening day, Lappy, whiskey at Comiskey. Just beautiful, beautiful sandwiches from JP Grazianos.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. They're the people at tasterealchicago.com are going to be sponsoring all of our White Sox content for the 2026 season. That means we're going to be doing more man on the streets, more interviews at the ballpark, more, lot B interviews. I've got a Chicago heat check that'll be dropping every week, which is just short form, reels and YouTube shorts, baseball segment. So that'll be everywhere. And yeah, man, I'm excited to deep dive it. And you can see it here. I'm a bad weatherman, but it's so good, man. The muffaletta, the jardinera, the beef kits. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff with them. And it starts whiskey at Comiskey and those Mr. G bands. They're so good. So yeah, I'm gassed up, man.
Yeah, me too. Sam goes, it's just a jardinera buffet. If you want to eat the jardinera, go for it. We'll
film you.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a contest and see who can eat the most jardinera. But no, maybe we're gonna have the sandwiches. We'll probably do some beef, with the beef kits and everything. So it's gonna be just great eating in the Sox for our whiskey at Comiskey tailgates this season. I'm happy to have them on board. So,
and like you mentioned, it's a Chicago staple, right? Like it's something that most of Chicago is able to get, but there sometimes, it's far harder to travel from like the south side of Chicago into the West Loop. So we'll be bringing it to the people.
Yeah. And as we mentioned too, like what Dougie mentioned, we want to thank everyone because we opened up RSVPs last week around 9:00 on the pod. And within 12 hours, we already had 100. As of now, we already have 200 RSVPs. So this is going to be a huge, huge tailgate. But in addition to JP, we also have Off Hours Brewing. They're going to be providing the beers again. Maker's Mark, Manuscrito, Jepson's Malort. The Malort Prince is going to be on doing all her crazy infusions. So this opening day is going to be, it's cliche to say, but it's going to be a vibe. So
it's going to be a vibe for sure. It's going to be a vibe. And like I mentioned, remember, I keep saying it, knock on wood, I'm going to feel like an a-hole if it doesn't happen, but I guaranteed 65 and sunny. So get the shorts out.
That's right. So hope you guys are all right. Thanks for everyone to RSVP. If you haven't, make sure you click the link on it's pinned to our Twitter page or on our link tree on our Instagram. RSVP immediately and enjoy all the free food, drink. And now Taste Real Chicago.
Hell yeah. TasteRealChicago.com, baby.
That's right. All right, let's bring in our guests. We got a lot of Bears talk to go over. It's been a crazy week for the Bears, so let's just bring them on right now. It's our recurring guest and friend of the show, Rob Schwarz from the Halas Huddle Pod. Rob, welcome back to the BumCast. Bear down, baby.
Bear down, guys. How's it going? It's been a bit. How you guys doing? Good?
Real good. Hold on, real quick. I got to put hand up apologies. Gordo said tamales. Yes, Gordo has graciously offered to bring a whole bunch of tamales for the tailgate. So we're going to have that in addition to everything else. So thank you, Gordo, for that.
I'll be having a couple 2-3. But yeah, Rob, good to see you. I know you had a little bit of a staycation in the Chicagoland area this week. That Saturday night looked good. You had a couple cocktails. You were at 3 Dots and a Dash. Talk to me about your staycation because that looked like a wonderful time.
Yeah, so my wife completely surprised me. I had no idea that we were doing this. She just said, hey, the kids are going to grandma's and we are going to take a night out on the town. And look, we live so close to Chicago and we hardly take advantage of it. And it's amazing how many things that you can do in the city, how many bars, how many restaurants. Like I have not experienced half of what's out there. And so we did 3 Dots and Dash. We did Gus's Sippin' something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like LaSalle and it's between LaSalle and Clark off of New Orleans, I think. But yeah, and that place was amazing. $12 drink. Like a $12 cocktail in the city. Like I don't think you can get anything better than that.
That's a rarity now. Now it's like 15,
Yeah.
16. You know, some places
Yeah,
are
some
like
are
closer
close
to
to
20.
Yeah.
Yeah. I paid 20 at three doors. I always mess it up. Three dots and dash. I paid $20 for that, but I got like the strongest drink that they make, and they only allow you to have one. So I felt good with that one. I felt good spending $20 on that one.
We need to get the bums at 3 dots and a dash. I need to challenge that.
It's good. It's good. You get a little bit of a shot of rum on the side, and you got to basically like sip and then drink and sip and drink, and you kind of like mix the cocktails together versus just pouring it in. And then we went to RPM seafood, which was good, but I'll be honest, it's a little bit overhyped. We were kind of disappointed that we didn't go to Mastro's instead. But yeah, and we stayed at a hotel called Voco, which I've never heard of, but it's actually right across the river. I could see all of the like where all my old jobs used to be. So
yeah. Rob, let's get into it, man, because we got a lot. There's a lot of Bears news to cover, and you know, I know we only have you for about 40 minutes here, so
yeah, we're good.
Let's start with going back to last week with Drew Dalman announcing the unexpected retirement. At age 27, I think no one, maybe the Bears saw it coming because they were already had a couple guys in apparently to for visits, but he was one of the prize free agents of the Bears class last year. Solid, center for with Caleb Williams, helped that line be one of the elites for 2025. And then for him to retire, and obviously that's no one's business of why he retired. If it, obviously, retiring at 27 isn't something you see, unless you're like have like severe, like an injury or concussions or whatever. So, but we don't know about that. But it did free up some cap space, but it did cause some headaches for the Bears. But we'll get into the Garrett Bradbury trade here in a minute. But I want to talk to you about what your thoughts were initial like Dalman retirement.
Yeah, shocking, right? I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. Just completely broke the whole entire plan. I feel like for all of the next 2-3 years, you finally got the center position correct. You hadn't had a legit center probably since Olin Kreutz, unless maybe you count. I think Roberto Garza filled in for like a couple years after, and he did pretty.
He wasn't bad.
But yeah, outside of those two guys, like it's been like a revolving door of just mediocrity to guys like Lucas Patrick, who was just a revolving door of himself. And it's frustrating to see it happen, but there's nothing you can do about it. And look, as a human being, I say I applaud him for making the choice that he made. He is obviously a Stanford grad. There must be something about being a Stanford grad you retire early, because we saw the same thing with Andrew Luck. He got a lot of money, and I know, look, there's reports that they can claw back and get anywhere between $4 and $6 million of his bonuses for this year and next year. It's up to the team if they're going to do that, and it doesn't actually impact the 2026 salary cap. It would, whatever they'd be able to claw back would actually go into like the end of the year into next year. So it's not like it's really going to help them now. They made back about $10 million, and then they turned around and got a guy who's they're paying very, very small. No, Hronis Grasu gets no respect. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it's a really rough, tough situation that they're in. And unfortunately it looked like it was going to be a good center market, and then everything dried up. And I think that's why that trade happened. There were rumors, I guess, reports that there was rumblings about him retiring prior to the combine. Sounded like they were probably trying to convince him not to. And then officially happened right after the combine. That was when it sounds like they were told, and they were going to bring in Badich, who I call Badass, who ended up going to the Chargers. That would have been probably an ideal signing if you could have made that work, just because you didn't lose the compensatory pick formula there. I know a lot of people wanted Linderbaum. Do we want to touch on that? Because that guy.
I mean, we could touch. I mean, I think we all did until we saw what he was going to command.
Yeah,
and it was like,
I did not want that money.
You were not going to want to pay $20 million a year for a center, and obviously, he got like a big old bag.
Yep, we
lost him.
HBIC. Okay, so
we
I'll fill in
lost him for a second, but yeah.
$27 million in AAV is absolutely insane. The next closest to him is Cushenberry at 18 million. And did I say, is it Cushenberry?
I believe
Who's the Chiefs center? Why am I blanking on his name?
Oh,
anyway, 18 million was the next closest center at 18 million in AAV. Then you got 20. Like, it's insane. I was saying he was going to probably get about 25. People were saying, no, there's no way. It's at 18. Like, he's not going to set the market that high. And sure as shit, he blew the 25 million out of the door and made it at 27 million, 61 million guaranteed. I don't want the Bears paying a center that much, especially a guy who is really good, but also has flaws. So sorry, like, it was Connor McGovern would have been my perfect choice, and he ended up re-signing Creed Humphrey. Thank you. I couldn't think of. I knew I was saying it wrong. Yeah, so McGovern would have been my favorite option there in Denver, but he got re-signed and never even hit free agency.
Yeah, no, I wanted Linderbaum too, but yeah, 20. Obviously, the Raiders are just going to do stupid things because they need to, because they're so bad and their line was so bad last season. But his also, what I was reading too is like his contract going to be pretty much almost fully guaranteed after, like, towards the end of March. So no one's going to really beat that deal anyways. So
yeah, and especially because Ryan Poles right now, if you look at what he's doing, he's creating flexibility. It feels like he's very pragmatic in his decision making right now, and he wants as much flexibility as possible. So if you sign someone like Linderbaum, that's going to really, like, handcuff you into making decisions not only this year but down the road.
Yeah, and he put himself in this situation. I mean, I got to be honest, I'm a Ryan Poles supporter, but the Garrett, the Grady Jarrett signing and the Dio signing, like, the contract structures were just absolutely bonkers and really set them up for failure going into the season, because now they have less to spend.
Yeah.
Going back to Dom and Jay, and I think it's like, yeah, like, we've all been critical on Poles, but like something like a 27-year-old retiring, that's something that comes out of nowhere, right? So it's like you can't really point like at Ryan Poles and be like, oh, that's unfortunate. The one thing I will say is, like, and I think it was Courtney Cronin that mentioned it, but like, I didn't know that Drew Dalman's dad played in the league, and I guess he has gone through a couple surgeries, later in life. So, being able to retire at 27 and seeing what, like, your future entails, it's like, it's very rare that you go out on your own terms. So it's like, as much as a Bears fan, it hurt, especially in the moment when it dropped. I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I can respect going out on your own terms.
Well, I'm pissed at Justin, because Justin was like texting, and he's like, are they going to do anything? Like, what's going on? Like, are they going to do anything? Are they going to do it? And then all of a sudden, like, that was the news that broke. And I was like, damn it, Justin, look what you started. Look what you created. For those of you who don't know, Justin's one of the co-hosts on Halas Huddle, and honestly, like, my best friend. So
he's in the comments. Shout out Justin. Appreciate you.
Nice.
So then after Dahlman, obviously the biggest news was obviously DJ Moore being traded, which we kind of were talking for the past few weeks that, if the Bears were going to, because of their cap situation, if they were going to have to, make any moves, obviously some restructuring or trades. And I got to give Ryan Poles credit. I don't think there's anyone out there who thought we were going to get a second round pick from any team, but for the Bills, who don't really have any good wide receivers at the moment. They have Josh Allen and, Shakir, yeah, he's a solid guy, but they don't have like that true number one guy. So I think for them giving up a second when everyone's like, oh, you'll get a fifth, maybe a fourth, good move on Ryan Poles. And, we get that contract off the books. We're able to make some other moves, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But thank you, DJ Moore, for your service. We appreciate you. But kudos, pat in the back, Ryan Poles for getting a second round pick on DJ Moore.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on our show. Fifth round pick is kind of where my mind was at. The Amari Cooper trade is one I kept referring to when he got traded. What was it, from Oakland to Dallas? I got a fifth round pick, and look, he was coming off some pretty good years at that point. It's frustrating to see him go from the standpoint of he led them to very many memorable wins this past season. But it just made sense for them to move on, especially seeing what they got in return. I thought for sure at best it would have been a fourth. The fact that they got a second just blows my mind. Thank you, Joe Brady, who obviously was the one probably pounding the table for this to happen, was his offensive coordinator in Carolina when he had a couple back-to-back good years there. I think it's a fantastic move for both sides, though, to your point. Like, they needed a receiver. I like Shakir, and I don't really consider DJ Moore a wide receiver 1 anymore just because of his age and what we've seen, but he's better than what he produced here in Chicago. I think he's going to do very well, and you have a AFC team getting him rather than an NFC team, so that makes me happy. And they're a contender, so he'll actually have a chance to make the playoffs again. I know this was his first year making the playoffs ever with Chicago in his career, though, right? And he never did it in Carolina. I'm happy to see him go to a team that they're probably going to make the playoffs again and get an opportunity there. And as long as they don't play the Bears in this, Super Bowl, and even if they do, then he can just fuck off.
Well, they do play the Bills next season, so DJ Moore revenge game.
Oh, do they?
Coming.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I didn't even pay attention to that.
It's coming. The DJ Moore revenge game. I'm prepared for that. Daily
play him
fantasy.
In fantasy.
Yeah,
but
daily fantasy.
They're not going to win.
No. Going back, Jay, we mentioned it obviously ever since the playoff game and the Rams, it left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And I was of the opinion that I just didn't see anyone, really after DJ Moore, and hand up, I was wrong. The fact that they got a second, that's awesome. The other thing I was not worried about, because the Bears and their offense have talent across the board, right? You saw the emergence of Colson Loveland, and Luther Burden looks like he is the real deal. Rome Odunze had up and down because of injury, but he's proven that he can be the one. The only thing is that, it just seemed like whenever there was those big moments, those big Packer moments, or even in the playoffs, or it was always DJ Moore, or at least a lot of the times DJ Moore. And now the receiving core skews way younger. Do you think, and it could be one of the two, but whether it's Rome Odunze or Luther Burden, are they ready to take on the true number one role? And even though DJ Moore kind of his progress was, kind of stalled with Caleb Williams, he had a really great, rapport with Justin Fields. He was his safety blanket for sure, but it feels like, you still need that type of veteran presence. Is any one of the receivers going to be able to, step up?
For me, it's Luther Burden. He's, to me, the true wide receiver 1 in this group, the guy who can set himself up to succeed on any single play. And I love Rome Odunze as well. I think you got a 1A and a 1B in those two guys. They're both dogs. They're both, they have that mentality. Burden's probably a little bit more diva, which is usually a good thing when it comes to receivers. So that's not a problem necessarily. Colston Loveland right there is your number 3. And to be honest, he's probably going to be their number 2 target, and the receivers will bookend him somehow. But don't forget, we got our friend there, Peter. We got Cole Kmet still on the roster. Look, we're good there. He's your veteran presence. I'll be honest. I think that they're probably going to bring back. They're either going to bring in, somebody who's been in the league for a little bit, or they might still draft someone too. And honestly, I know we might touch on it. I don't know if we are or not in the show. It wasn't known until recently, but the fact they're not getting the damn compensatory picks that I just had a Rob's rant on our episode. I would have liked to have that 3rd round pick to bring in a receiver at that point. So,
yeah. So right now with the Bears, you look at the roster, they lost Zacchaeus today. He obviously, that was only going to be a one and done with him, but you got, Rome, Luther, and Jade Walker, as the only true wide receivers on the team. So I could see them going for a cheaper option, or maybe picking up someone in the free agent market, like Romeo Dobbs, Debo Samuel was mentioned. I don't know if I want Debo. I think, that's kind of, asking for trouble.
Yeah. He's just a walking crutch at this point.
Yeah. Jalen Naylor, I don't know if he could be a good, complementary piece in the offense, but do you think it's more of a cheap free agent route, or do you think it's going to be a draft target, knowing what all the rest of the Bears need?
I'm just going to throw this out there. Did you see the hints at Jordan Addison?
I saw that.
I'm not buying it again. I'm not buying it. Caleb already got me with the Max Crosby stuff. I'm not falling for for that again.
I honestly don't know if they would even consider him with the off the field issues that he's had, right? That doesn't really seem to fit the Chicago Bears locker room presence and the whole Ryan Poles mantra. I think it's going to be a combination of the two. I think they'll bring in a cheaper veteran, maybe someone who's got some return capabilities, even if it's just bringing back Devin Duvernay. And then like I said, I think they could turn to the draft, or they could even look at some undrafted free agents. It's a pretty deep wide receiver class. There's a couple guys that stand out at the top, and then there's just like a big grouping in the middle. If a certain guy falls and he's there in the mid, mid day twos or even the early day threes, I don't see why they wouldn't pull the trigger, because based on what they've done in free agency today, they've set themselves up very well, I think, for the draft. And I think fans are going to be a little frustrated. I know I'm going to be a little frustrated, but I think fans are going to be a little frustrated on what their plan of attack is on the defensive line.
Yeah, so let's talk about that next, because obviously there was all the talk about Max Crosby and will the Bears make the move on it. There were all the rumors that the Bears are in one of the few teams, and then there was the talk that Crosby has the Bears on his short list of teams he wanted to go to, and that turned out to be
the Vegas odds.
Yeah, that turned out to be the biggest bullshit that there was out there, because he never had the Bears on his preferred destination list.
Well, but did you see the Poly Market had Mike Evans as the number one place to be with Chicago today as well, and he's saying to San Francisco? I'm like, stop following these things. These are not true Vegas odds. They're not lines that are set by Vegas. This is something it's a prop bet that is pushed by people voting or betting money. So the money causes it to go places.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready to mute Polymarket, Kalshi, all those random ass sites. Like, I'm ready to mute them all, because people, especially on like Bears Twitter, they see one thing, they run with it, and then it just snowballs. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. So obviously he went to Baltimore. You got the 2 first-round picks. Baltimore picking 11th in the draft was obviously a big, draw for the Raiders to want to go with that. And it's like there's been conflicting reports that the Bears offered to, and then there was a report like no, they didn't, and then Rich Eisen saying that they did. What are you hearing as far as like where the Bears were with Max Crosby and how serious they were in pursuit?
So the only person that I know that has some connections did say that there was talks. I never heard that 2 first-round picks were offered from Chicago. I can't imagine that was ever the case. I think that was Rich Eisen getting played, and it sounded like Rich Eisen might have gotten played by the exact same guy. If you follow Brendan Shagru on Twitter, he kind of pointed that out today. There's so many of these fake accounts out there, guys. You got to be real careful. I got played by one. What was it that I got played by? Shit, I can't remember. There was one that just happened recently, and I was like, it was a Brian Thomas tweet.
Oh, Brian. Yeah.
And I thought that he was offered or something, or he's being released is what it sounded like. And I was like, he's already being released. Like, what the fuck is this? But everyone thought he was better than Roma Dunze and was calling for Ryan Poles' head. Turns out it was a fake account.
Yeah. Brutal.
So you got to be careful.
I'm kind of happy that the Bears didn't go down that route. We saw what happened with the Khalil Mack trade. At the time, it made sense. The Bears defense was good. They needed that extra piece. They were going all in. They were hoping that Mitch was going to take that extra step, but he didn't. And you know what? It backfired on Ryan Pace, because then they got in salary cap hell. They had no draft picks to build off of. And that's what happens when you try to go all in and it doesn't work out for you. So I'm happy, that seeing what happened to us in the past, that we didn't go all in on Max Crosby. I didn't want to give up those first round picks. I thought if we could maybe do a first, DJ Moore, maybe a third, I'm okay with that, but the return, that's fine. But where do the Bears go now? As obviously it doesn't look like, Trey Hendrickson's going to be an option with all the moves they made today, and knowing what now the fact that he didn't sign already in the first wave is kind of telling. Are people scared of the price tag, the core surgery, the combination of both, what he's asking in relation to his surgery. But a lot of the other, potential free agent targets that could have been nice, Jalen Phillips, he got signed up. Where do you think the Bears are going to go now with this? Is it going to be a draft or is it going to be a cheap free agent edge rusher?
Try on Shalanka, bringing him back, right? Like
God bless you.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like probably the type of guy you're going to see them bring in free agency if they bring in a defensive end. What I will say is they made a comment that they felt like the defensive end group was the deepest group in this upcoming draft class. And it wouldn't surprise me if for some reason they take two. I think that could be, you take one early, either on day one or in either the first or second round, and then you grab one, later in the draft. They don't have a 5th round pick anymore, but maybe with that 4th or one of their 7ths. And I could see them just loading up in that regard. But I think fans are going to have to really get on the track and the mindset of it's going to be Montez Sweat, Dio, and Austin Booker. The Dio injury is what scares me the most, because an Achilles injury for a defensive end is not ideal, right? Like you're pushing off so much off that heel. That's what scares me the most. How quickly can he come back? So yeah, I'm not expecting a splash move. I know we mocked it in our offseason because everybody wanted it and I wanted it, and Trey Hendrickson would have been the guy. Khalil Mack would have been a guy. I don't see it. Jalen Phillips was never a guy for me. I don't feel like he fits the Dennis Allen mold. He's a little too much on the smaller end. He's been more of an OLB than he has been a down 4-3 end. It's going to be real interesting to see how this goes. There's a lot to play out, obviously, over the next few days, but there's some solid guys still available. I just, personally, I was hoping they could trade Edmonds straight up for Kayvon Thibodeau, right? Like that would have been fantastic in my opinion. It didn't work out.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you do you think the Bears would probably take a flyer on, like Joey Bosa, Bradley Chubb, Hassan Reddick, any of those guys? I know they're, up there in the early 30s, but, is it something maybe you get if they don't sign in the first couple of days, you can maybe get them for cheaper?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of like an after the draft type of move. I'm blanking on the guy's name who played for the Jaguars. He's Ngakoue, right? Ngakoue that they brought in. I think they paid him like $8 million. He didn't sign with anybody pre NFL draft, and then they in that second wave, they call it, right, of free agents. To me, it's more like the third wave of free agency. Yeah. This is the first wave, then you have the second wave, and then you got the draft, and then there's a third wave. And I feel like if there's a guy that falls through to that point, that's who you might see them taking. It's not going to be. It could be a guy like that, though. Somebody who's an older age, who's just not being signed. I don't think it'll be a Bosa. Chubb, maybe Clowney. Didn't Clowney sign late last year? Had a pretty good year. Like I could see that.
Jordan? Yeah, he's Cam
Jordan makes complete sense.
I like the Cam Jordan. JT with the Dennis Allen reunion makes sense.
Yeah, if you can get Cam Jordan on a 1-year, $6 million deal, like go do it.
I like that. Yeah, Danny Miller's in the comments. Shout out, Danny. He says, are there no difference making edge guys that fall to pick 25? That 25, it's a good problem to have, right? So we're not drafting top 10 like we are every year. And at this point in the season, we'd be talking about draft instead of, free agents and everything else. But it is like with your success comes a little bit tougher of a draft pick. Where do you see them drafting at 25? Is it, best available edge guy or just best available in general? Or how do you attack it?
Yeah. So for me, so they signed Braxton Jones, right? So that tells me that they're not going to take a tackle in the first round. To me, I felt like that was enough evidence to say they feel like they can get by with Braxton, Theo, and Amagaji until Ozzie Trapillo comes back very late next year. Like I know Greg Gabriel is trying to say that he's going to be back in week 6, week 7. I call bullshit on that. And I know he's got like great connections right within the league. I just don't foresee week 6, week 7. To me, it's at least a 10-month injury. People keep referring to Josh Simmons, right? Who had he had a partial tear. This is a full rupture. So there is a difference. It's going to take longer I would probably say like by a month or two. And I'm not a doctor, but that's just like from my brief research that I've done, that's what I think would happen. At 25, I'm pounding the table for Caden McDonald. I don't think it's going to happen because it's not a Dennis Allen guy. I'm struggling with that. Small defensive tackle mentality and not getting this run stuffer in there. Someone who can actually like take on 2 blocks, someone who can, get in the gap and just anchor in there and there's no one coming through and it leaves your linebacker free. I struggle with this because we're seeing a change in the NFL again. It's a little bit of a shift. The running backs have become more popular again. And I know it's not this true one running back, the 3-down back. It's been more of like a duo. But what you're seeing is more running of the football. And it's kind of a shift back to like maybe like the 90s where you ran the ball more and then you played off the run for your passing, where there was this time where it was just literally shotgun throw. There's been a shift. And I fear that Dennis Allen isn't catching back up to this shift because you can't count on your linebackers and your defensive backs to always make those tackles at the second level. That's why you're seeing 5 to 6 yards gained at a time. From a defensive end standpoint, I know someone had asked about game changing. My guy's Akeem Mesidor. I don't care about the age. I know he's going to be 25 by the time the draft hits. When I watch his film, that is the one guy out of all of the players that are out there, except for Bain, who I don't think has a chance to fall, and I don't see him as a 4-3 end. Out of all of them, who has all the tools, the speed, the get off, the hands, the counter moves, everything. He has it all. And I know he's 25, and I know he was playing against some younger guys, but look, he had an injury that held him out of all of 2023 season. And then in that 2023 season, you got Jason Taylor coming in as your defensive end coach. He's the guy who has trained him and Bain. I absolutely love the idea of him being there at 25 and being the guy, and you get him for 5 years and you let him walk at 31.
I like that. And you know what? I mean, I wrote him down. I'm going to star him and keep an eye out. You think he will be there at 25?
It's a good chance just because of the age.
Okay.
But the problem is, okay, so if you're going to look at other guys, Zion Young is a guy out of Missouri who I wouldn't have a problem with. He fits the Dennis Allen mold. I would hope that you could probably trade back to the end of first round and still grab him. He's got some deficiencies. TJ Parker is a guy that a lot of people like out of Clemson, but he's kind of got up and down situation. Bailey doesn't fit the system, even if he were to drop. Bain doesn't fit the system if he was to drop. Cassius Howell, I don't like in the system at all either. These are just the names that are popping off in my head as far as first round grades go.
Okay.
All right. So let's go on to some other news because we got a lot. We still got a lot to cover here.
Sorry, guys.
No.
My wife will just kill me.
No, it's not. It's just a lot of stuff that the Bears have gone within the last week. That's why I DM'd you. I'm like, there's so much going on. And I know there's no, NFL never stops. It's 365. But I was like, it was a busy ass week. So go ahead, Jay.
I'll rapid fire it.
So Garrett Bradbury, they traded from the Patriots. They gave a 5th round pick for him. And this was after all of the visits were going on. And then, are we going to try to make a move, for Linderbaum, whatever. And then we get this news. And it felt at the time kind of underwhelming. But do you see this, the Bradbury trade as, okay, yes, he might be the center for 2026, but is this a stopgap and they're going to draft a center, or is he going to be the guy for the foreseeable future?
I think he has the opportunity to be the guy for the foreseeable future, but I think he's got to prove it, right? And if he can't prove it, then they'll move on. And I think they'll find, some type of type B, backup insurance policy again, whether it's Ryan Newman, if they feel like he's got the capability to continue to develop as a center and not just as a guard, which also gives him versatility, by the way, because you got Jonah Jackson, who's going to be out in 2 years. Tooney's going to be out in 2 years, unless they extend either of them. I think, this draft has a decent amount of guys that you could probably get on day 3 you can fit into the system and I wouldn't want to plug and play him because you got a quarterback who's only going into year 3, only year 2 in the system. You need someone who has some NFL experience, and that's what Bradbury has. I mean, he was the starting center for the Minnesota Vikings for the longest time. He wasn't as good in that system, which is unfortunate because I do feel like they were a little bit more of a run zone blocking system at times. But then again, I'd have to go back and look because when I think about Aaron Jones, he was more of a power gap runner. So maybe it wasn't necessarily as apples to apples as what we're going to see with the Ben Johnson system. I think Bradbury is going to be just fine. A lot of people hated Coleman Shelton when he was here, right? And then he went to the Rams, back to the Rams after having a good season with the Rams, came to Chicago, sucked, and then went back to the Rams and then was really good again. So it's just a matter of fit. And like I said earlier, I think being next to guys like Tooney and Jonah Jackson, like it's going to make your job easier. I think he'll be just fine. I think he's going to help the run game a bit, but he's, honestly, Dahlman let up more pressures last year than him. So I'm not going to try to say that it's an upgrade because it's not. I don't think it's an even keel. I think it is a downgrade from Dahlman. Dahlman, I think, is a top 8 center in the league. Bradbury is probably more like 16, 17, but it's all about scheme and schematics and what you can do. And we're going to have to see how it plays out. But to your original question, yeah, they're going to have some type of insurance policy.
Yeah, I had this graphic up here. He didn't give up any penalties or sacks last season. But 28th in hits allowed, 26th in total pressures, and top 10-ish in, pass block snaps and run block snaps played. So, but no penalties and sacks allowed is a good thing. But, giving the pressures though, it's kind of concerning.
Well, yeah, you gotta figure who he's playing alongside of, right?
That's true.
So that's where Rob's saying like playing alongside Joe Tooney is going to really help that. Also playing in front of Caleb Williams might help that because Drake May had a propensity to take, even though he didn't give up any sacks allowed, I like my guy Caleb as opposed to Drake May.
Yep. All right, let's go into some of the news that started breaking today. And I want to start with probably the biggest signing that they did, and it's from Seattle, Kobe Bryant, safety, 3 years, $40 million contract. So it looks like, Kevin Byard probably not going to be coming back. Brisker probably not coming back at this point. Maybe we'll get your take on that. But obviously, he had a great season with Seattle. He had a high coverage grade. He had I think the most interceptions last season for the Seahawks. So I think this is a great upgrade for the secondary for the Bears. But now I'm just you only really have, a couple safeties on the books right now. So, but I like the setting, and I want to get your take on that, Rob.
Yeah, I haven't decided. I haven't formed an opinion on what I think it means for the other safety position and where is he going to fill in. I know some people think it's going to be the Kevin Byard spot, and they think that probably plays more to his capabilities, but he's also a good run stopper. He doesn't have a problem running downhill. And I think it honestly fits what Dennis Allen likes. And this is the one thing I do like about Dennis Allen's system is he likes guys who play safety who are interchangeable. They can play both free safety and strong safety. And that way you can disguise, you can play quarters and one goes up, one goes back. They fake, there's a lot of things that you can do pre-snap to make changes. And we've seen also blitzing, right? He obviously uses these guys to blitz as well, whether it's a nickel corner or Brisker coming off the end too. I think it's more likely that Brisker is for sure gone. I think he's obviously going to get the higher contract because of his age. I was a little bit surprised at them getting Kobe Bryant because it's like $13 million a year, which is a little bit higher than what I anticipated them spending.
So I actually I'm looking at his contract right now. So yeah, average salary is $13 million, 25.7 guaranteed. But it's interesting though is his 26 cap hit is 5.9 million, so $6 million, and then 27-28 it's $17 million. So it's severely backloaded the contract. So little relief up front, but next 2 years where the more clauses or the escalations go up, that could be a trouble for the Bears cap next couple of years.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how that plays out. Obviously, I mean, look, the cap has gone up almost $100 million in the last 5 years, so that definitely is going to help play things out. And there's rumors that in 2029 they're going to be redoing their television contracts, and it's going to just explode. So maybe they're playing that mentality, and hopefully it works out for them. I don't know. They got a lot to think about with that, plus the stadium situation. So that power to them for having to deal with all of this money and figuring out the future from a macro standpoint. What I do love about Kobe Bryant is his ball hawking ability. And I know he only had 4 interceptions to Kevin Byard's 7. People might point that out. 2 different defenses though. So let's point that out as well. I am glad to see that Al Harris is still here. I think that's going to definitely impact him from getting to the ball standpoint even more. But even coming out of college, Cincinnati, he had a total of 11 interceptions coming out of college. Like his RAS score, I put this out on Twitter today. It was like 5 point something. It's way low for what Ryan Poles usually goes after. And I know it's the cornerback because he came out as a corner and not as a safety. And there's, talks that could, obviously change at the safety level if you're going to compare him to other safeties. But look, it's not going to go from 5 something to 8s, 9s, right? So it's nice to see them looking at production from college, production as a player, and not just these RAS scores that you're seeing with other people like Ruben Hippolyte that they draft. And then you got like fucking, Dio that you bring in, who probably is like super athletic and looks great on paper, but just can't do shit on the field.
Yeah. Can't transfer it over to on the field production. If you want to get to Devin Bush, Jason, I'll just quickly on both Kobe Bryant and Devin Bush. The thing that stands out to both of those guys is speed, right? The NFL is like a copycat league. You see the Seattle defense and what they're able to do, even though they're undersized, they're fast, they get around, they can stop both the run and the pass and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see if, Dennis Allen and the Bears are going to more of a, speed and ball hawking thing. Because that'd be fun. That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, I love the Devin Bush signing. He was a guy I thought that we talked about him in our mock off season, but I didn't think they'd be able to afford him. Yeah, but they got both him and DeMarco Jackson back, another guy who's got a lot of speed. And if you look at their coverage, between the two of them, Nick Whalen put this out on Twitter with at minimum of 140 pass coverage snaps. Those guys ranked 1 and 2 in coverage with less than I think it was like 69 and 68 something in completion percentage allowed. So, I mean, you got 2 guys for the cost of what you were going to pay Tremaine Edmonds.
Yep. Yeah, and we didn't even talk about Tremaine Edmonds, getting cut and letting, basically getting them to walk. But I'll take the upgrade because I do like Devin Bush. And like you mentioned, DeMarco Jackson, when called upon, was really good. Good enough.
Yeah. 3 years, $30 million for Devin Bush, 21 guaranteed. I have not seen the contract breakdown yet, so I don't know if it's similar to Kobe Bryant's where it's heavily backloaded. They haven't got that up on the sites yet. But yeah, obviously he had 2 career years, in Cleveland. Cleveland was a great defense last season. He played all games, led the team in tackles. So I think it's a big upgrade. It's something that the Bears definitely need after last season, since, the linebacking core was severely depleted. So good job on Ryan Poles for getting that deal done. The Neville Gallimore signing, that was the first one that, kind of kicked off the free agents, the frenzy on that. Not really flashy or anything like that. Any thoughts on Neville? I don't think it's, the guy from the Colts. I think he's just maybe just like a rotational piece, if you ask me.
I'll put 2 things out there really quick. So one, my whole thing was I had no idea who he was in the beginning, and I had to go research on him because I had not heard of him. I had not followed him out of college. None of that. The only thing that stood out to me was Neville Longbottom. That was like
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. You're bringing the true hero of the Harry Potter series into your football field, onto your football roster. But how has Indianapolis Colts defensive lineman worked out for the Chicago Bears? They haven't.
Pass.
Right? You got Al-Quadin Muhammad. Nothing. He goes to Detroit and puts up like 9 sacks this year, right? Then you got Dio, who wasn't doing anything, and then he gets hurt. And then now you're bringing in, Neville, who, look, he's a 3 technique. I don't know. He's a smaller guy. I saw that Greg Gabriel said he was playing at 315 for the Colts this year, which is high compared to where he was coming out of college. They had him listed at 300. I've seen it between 302 and 305. That's more the Dennis Allen build. He's been more of a 3 technique. He's the guy who's going to get off the ball quick. He does have a faster get off than Jervon Dexter. So I give him props for that. He's a motor guy, high motor guy. The guy never quits. Like, you just see him hustle on everything, but he's not a good run defender. So again, where are we getting this run defense from?
Yeah.
Obviously the Devin Bush signing, that helps with the run defense. The Kobe Bryant signing, that helps with the run defense. But what are you doing in the trenches? That's what concerns me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, before we let you go, JT's in the comments, and Jay, we've talked about it kind of like behind the scenes. You've done hella homework on the stadium situation, the Arlington Heights tax thing. I've seen your tweets blow up everywhere, and credit to you, man. Like, literally, like, I feel like it's every time someone talks about the stadium news, you're getting quote tweeted or, retweeted about it. So JT's in the comments. We wanted to ask you anything new, where are you leaning towards? I know people were, pitchforks ready to, protest about Hammond, Indiana. Now it seems like it's cooled down a bit. Where are you leaning right now?
Yeah, so it's quieted down because look, Illinois is they're not in session right now, right?
Yeah.
So like they're in their little 2-week break that they get. They'll be back next week. We actually have Mark Batnick is a guy. He was a former legislator here in Illinois. We had him on our show about a month and a half ago. He was the one that actually broke the story about where the Chicago Bears stadium in Arlington Heights, what the property taxes were going to cost if nothing was changed from a legislation standpoint. And I am in the property tax field. So like, this is something that I've been following since the very beginning. As soon as they actually went and won the contract in 2021, and then I saw what the assessor of Cook County did in 2022 before they even owned the stadium, they jacked this thing up right up to that purchase price. Look, to make it real simple, I don't know how many of you or how many of your listeners have ever tried to sell a house. I know I've been fucked over. You sell a house, you put it on the market, someone walks out of that deal. What happens? You don't get shit. Earnest money is a joke most of the time. You really going to go sue somebody for $2,500? And I know we're talking small potatoes for us compared to like how much earnest money they probably had to put forward, right, as a stadium. But like, it just gives you this mindset of like, you can't just go sue for this stuff because it's going to cost you more than getting your $2,500 back. But then what ends up happening? Your value goes down. Then I had it happen 2 times in my townhouse before I sold it. We lost about $20,000 in our total sale price. There is no guarantee that a purchase agreement is going to close. So for the Cook County assessor to go and chase a sale that had not closed, complete bullshit. It pissed me off royally. So that's when I started writing about it for the BearGogglesOn site. And that's actually how I got noticed in this whole process. Just to put a little bit backstory behind it. One of the attorneys who represents the team for the Arlington Heights property reached out to me on LinkedIn, propped me for one of the articles that I wrote and said, look, I don't understand why other people aren't understanding this. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's because I work in property tax. But him and I met for drinks. Really nice guy. We've built a connection and we still talk today. Now I have the connection with Bart Batnick, which is more on the political side, which is something I didn't have contacts with. So I do appreciate his relationship that we're developing as well. And like I said, we're going to have more. We're supposed to record Thursday night, so we should have something coming out Friday, which hopefully will have some details. But right now, there's just not a lot because you have the Chicago politicians saying, look, you're leaving Chicago. We want some fucking money. And we're going to be mob bosses and tell you, you need to give us money or we're never going to pass this bill. Right. Then you got the not all Republicans, but you have politicians from down south and like the more, rural areas that don't give a shit what happens about the Chicago Bears because they don't get any money from that. So what are they going to get out of this? The guy I mentioned, Mark Matnick, said labor is really the one that's going to be the driving force. So they can get labor behind it. But he has issues with the bill. It's called HB 910 that passed through a House Finance Committee, but then didn't even get talked about on the House floor, didn't get a vote, nothing. And there's a lot of people that are coming out saying, and Cam Buckner of Chicago is one of them that pushed it, but he even said, look, I'm not even going to vote for this because there's not enough here. And there's a framework in place, and it was the right thing to get pushed. But the problem is that Indiana is just such a better state for getting business through. And they were able to push this through so fast. They're basically duplicating what they did with Lucas Oil Stadium. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'm still probably 70-30. It's Indiana. I'm hopeful that it's Arlington Heights. My heart says it has to be Arlington Heights. It's the only thing that makes sense. But my head keeps saying, how is Illinois ever going to get this to work? Because you can't get politicians to do anything quickly in this state. You can't, and they put it off for so damn long. I know for a fact from talking to other people that Kevin Warren is pissed. He's fed up with all of this back and forth nonsense. And I know he's part of the problem because he kept going back and forth from Arlington Heights to Chicago back to Arlington Heights. But it's because of what they were doing with the property taxes. They just want tax certainty. And this number of $210 million that was put out there is legit if they do it from a cost standpoint. They need to write something in place. And is it possible that is it likely that they're going to do it from a cost standpoint? Probably not. They'll probably do some type of market analyses to figure out what it's going to be from an income standpoint. But this is a technically an owner-occupied stadium. The stadium is an owner-occupied business. So you don't really do an income analysis like you would if it was like, a rental property where you have a strip mall and you have all these people paying leases, paying rent each month. It's not that cut and dry. And what are you going to compare it to? You can't compare it to United Center, right? Because United Center has 40 some games a year. Can't compare it to Wrigley, who's going to have 70, 80 games a year. You can't compare it to, guaranteed rate because it's just not the same. And Indiana's getting some pushback from their taxpayers though too, guys. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. If nothing is done by May, I'm going to flip it even closer to Indiana.
So what do you think it's for on the Illinois side? Is it Cook County? Is it Arlington and the school districts? Is it the infrastructure bill? Is it a combination of everything that's kind of holding everything up?
Yeah. So originally I would say that the school board was an issue. When they got their hands on that $197 million back in 2022 and 2023, they did not want to negotiate at all. And then they realized that they were stupid. And I'll say that because look, you're asking for all of this money for a piece of vacant land. There's nothing being done that's going to increase your taxes for your schools. Like you're not getting this massive influx of people. Yes, there are some, but you're not getting this massive influx of people just because of a rumored stadium that's being built. So it made no sense for them to dig their claws in and not let go. Again, from Cook County standpoint, he's just an idiot. Fritz Kagi, in my opinion, is the worst assessor that I've ever dealt with. And I don't deal with him anymore. Thank goodness. I am outside of the state of Illinois for the most part, from my property tax standpoint. But he is just not a reasonable person. He tries to make it seem like he's doing great for the taxpayers from a residential standpoint, but doesn't, and then just ruins business in the state of Chicago, or the city of Chicago, ruins business in all of Cook County. And it's funny, guys, because I'm going to put this out there, and I don't talk politics. I'm a Democrat, and everything I'm saying is anti-Democrat right now because it's fucking bullshit what they're doing, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah, that's where I lean. There's no right or wrong on either side of town. But Rob, one, I appreciate you naming names. Most people just say sources. You're naming names on the BumCast, which I like. It's like, hey, this guy I know, this guy I know. These are the guys giving me information. So I appreciate that. But we appreciate you coming on and imparting your knowledge because it was a busy ass week and we needed tap that brain of yours.
Yeah, I apologize that I can't keep going because, guys, I love it.
Yeah, no, we'll try to get you back on closer to draft, and we'll talk some picks with you. So, quick, where can everyone find you before you go?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter. I won't call it X. You can find me on Twitter at Shy Ruxin, CHIRUXIN, Ruxin, just like from the league. BGO for BearGogglesOn. And obviously, the Halas Huddle is where the podcast is at. So definitely go subscribe there. I know, we push your stuff on our channel. I know you guys push us on your channel. We love the connection that we have with you guys. I love the relationships that we built over the years. I'm sad to see that I don't see Dougie Fresh and the hair coming in on this episode.
Yeah,
I've been following him on Twitter. Oh, that's awesome. I wanted to hear though about how his experience was on Turkey. I tried following along.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's you guys are amazing. You guys have some awesome fans. The stuff that you guys do with the White Sox, as a White Sox fan who's not a huge fan, like you guys bring in like. I watch and I listen, and you guys probably don't even know that I'm listening half the time because I don't really listen live, but it's fun because it again, it's hard to cheer for that team, but at least you guys make it exciting. And I got to get to one of your guys' tailgates one time.
Yes, you do.
We'll be there all summer, Rob. We'd love to have you.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Rob, for coming on and talking Bears. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
You're the best.
All right. We got so hyped up with our announcement from earlier. We forgot to pay the bills, Peter. So
who forgot? Because I was waiting to hit that button, baby, but I'll press it now.
Yeah.
Greene.
I lied. We got a new ad.
Green Valley Wine and Spirits in Bolingbrook is your one-stop shop for all your liquor needs. Stout season is here and Green Valley has you covered. If you're a fan of Goose Island Bourbon County Stouts, then you need to stop in there immediately and get 25% off all of their vintage pours. So whether you missed out or you're a fan, stop in and get anything to fill up your stout collection. That's Green Valley Wine and Spirits, 344 Commons Drive, conveniently located right off of Route 53 and I-55 in Bolingbrook. Tell them the bump sent you.
Yeah. Let's bring in a Hermano in. Joey P, welcome. Good to see showing up late for work.
What's up, hermanos? Oh, wait. Daylight savings time, right?
Oh, yeah. The hour messed Joey P up.
Yeah. I'm on Mexican time.
Wait, speaking of Mexican time, I haven't even checked because I was so busy with our guest, Rob Schwarz Jr. What is my team doing? How's Mexico doing?
Win or lose, hermano, we drink.
We still
either
booze.
way.
All right, win or lose, we still booze.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments, let me know the score.
Yeah, Aaron Judge attacked us with a 2-run shot.
No,
I was watching a little bit.
JT says don't check. It's all right.
Yeah, don't look.
That's all right.
Don't look. That's why I got the right green on right now.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So Joey, we got to have you catch up here, because me and Peter did a lot of the talking here. So, talking some Hawks, they made a lot of moves at the trade deadline.
Yeah, they made quite a bit of moves, as a matter of fact. And I'll get to my bum of the week later. No spoilers on this, but we have to thank our captain, Nick Foligno. He was traded to the Minnesota Wild. He gets to play with his sibling, with his brother, and that's a cool thing. But yeah, we set sail to our captain of almost 3 years, and he left a lot in that locker room, and you could already tell that the announcement was already made by Kyle Davidson. The team's just going to ride alternate captains for the remainder of this season. There's only a couple months left.
Bedard's an alternate.
And Bertuzzi got the call up to be the other alternate. So we're excited there. Bertuzzi really has obviously stepped up, leading the team in goals all year. And Bedard is ready. He's got the chip on his shoulder. He had the A taken away once Connor Murphy came back. And once, you find out that, you go to a Blackhawks season ticket holder event at Field Museum, and you're in the same line of autographs and photo ops with Dougie and Joey P, you might not be back next year. And we could say
it's a death sentence.
We could say that is the truth, because Colton Dock, who was in our line this year for autographs and photo op, he was shipped off along with Jason Dickinson, our second line center. They both joined Connor Murphy out in Edmonton. So we have old friend Stan to thank for those moves. But all in all, the Hawks did acquire, in reality, another first-round pick next year in 2027. And then also we got a second round pick that also came back in 2028. So what Kyle Davidson is doing, he's kind of, going the Ryan Poles route, since we're just getting off the Bears topic, but they're just all about accumulating draft picks. And the second round picks in the NHL draft are much, much better than the second round picks that the Bulls were collecting, those bums. So these actually are going to pay off in the long run, because the good thing is there's just a pipeline of talent about to come up, especially here in the next month or so when the other overseas hockey leagues start to finish up their seasons. We're going to start seeing some guys, and it's pretty exciting. Just like when Frankie Nazar got called up at the end of last year, we're going to see a couple of these young bucks get called up, and some of the excitement, Peter, you're going to get excited.
Sounds like Frondell might be making an appearance.
Exactly. He's one of them.
Too.
He's one of them.
Number 3 overall pick from last year. So
all in all,
print the shirts.
Print the shirts. All in all, the Hawks, they are basically handing the reins. Kyle Davidson is handing the reins to these young kids to officially take over the locker room. And that's what they're doing. So that's our latest Blackhawks news. Obviously, there's a huge Blackhawks world news story, and there's a tribute for him tonight at tonight's game at United Center. Unfortunately, the OG number 19, Troy Murray, he's passed on. God bless Troy. He went through a lot over several years, battling cancer. He's had tons of us over the years on his shoulder, on his side, supporting him every step of the way. Him and Eddie O, both. They're definitely beloved cancer fighters, and God bless Troy. He will never be forgotten.
Give credit to the Blackhawks. They've been doing a really good job of honoring him, and rightfully so, right? He was a staple of the Blackhawks booth and Blackhawks community. So yeah, it's definitely a sad time, but also good on the Blackhawks. They're like everything they're doing things right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Joe, you got the green hat. I think we got St. Patrick's Day. It's right around the corner. Obviously, in Chicago, Saturday and Sunday are the big days. Everyone's going to be out partying on Saturday. You got parade action on Sunday. So I figured it's a good time. We need to do some King of the Hill, St. Patrick's Day edition. Right?
Let's do it.
So we got a bunch of St. Patrick's Day food and beverages, and we're going to see what's the king of St. Patrick's Day. So let's get move us up here. So Joe, you just got on. Pick 2 squares to start us off.
2 squares. I'm going to pick number 4.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick number 10.
All right. We got Black and Tan versus Green Beer. Right off the gate, a beer battle.
I like this.
Black and Tans versus Green Beer.
Joey, you go first. You picked them.
All right. I'm going to go first then. As much as I love green beer, that dye stains my teeth. So I'm going to go with the Black and Tan. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Joey. And I feel like, and you know what, Jay, when we came up with this last night, me and you were texting back and forth about it. And I feel like we probably should have consulted Jerry O'Sullivan on it. I know he has a thought that Guinness shouldn't be soiled with other beer, but I love a Black and Tan. I'm a big fan. If this is up to me, this Black and Tan is going far in this, little tournament. Green beer, I don't know. It seems like more of an America thing, not necessarily an Irish thing. You see it all over the big hippie, hipster, Chicago bars. The green beer, Miller Lite is shitty, no matter what color it is. So give me the Black and Tan.
Yeah, I think I'm siding with you guys on the Black and Tan. The green beer, I don't need my poop and my piss being bright green, throughout the entire day. So I'll give you a Black and Tan. I think that's the proper way to look at that.
Okay.
All right, Peter, you're up.
I always start with my soccer number 11.
Another beer battle: Smittix versus a Black and Tan.
I'm still going black and tan. I'm okay with Smithwick's.
Smithwick's.
I believe it's
I
Smithwick's.
always say Smittix, but it's Smithwick's.
Smithwick's. Smitty's beer. No, it's a black and tan. I'm going black and tan. I of the two, I'd much rather have a black and tan than a Smithwick's.
Yeah, black and tan all the way on this one.
Hey, you know what? Rich Bassett's in the comment. Shout out, Rich. I agree. I like a harps. I'm a big harps guy, so I do like doing black and tans with harp.
That's a great call. Great call, Rich.
I'm a big Smithwick's guy, but I got out voted here, so black and tan stays on. But yeah, I would take Smithwick's over a black and tan.
No disrespect to Dougie or Johnny, but this feels like it goes better with three people because there's no ties.
Yeah. All right. Joey, you're back up.
I'm back up again. All right, let me go with 6-7. 6-7.
You don't get to pick two, you get one.
Bum of the week, Joey.
Give me 6.
All right.
Oh,
Guinness stew.
Ah. You know what? I'm more of a drinker. Give me black and tan.
so here's the thing. I said I like a black and tan, and I'm a big fan. But there's a better beer out there, and beef stew is fantastic. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's beef stew. It's basically Guinness. It's Guinness stew. Yeah. Like whenever we're at the Guinness Gate Brewery. What's the Chicago
Open Gate?
Open Gate.
Yeah.
They make a mean Guinness stew. So just going by that, I'm going with the food.
As a tiebreaker, Peter, I'm with you on this one. And this is basically maybe some recency bias, but me and the wife were at an Irish bar on last Thursday, and she ordered the Guinness stew, and I was like, that was some of the best stew I had in a while. So I'm whacking the black and tan. I'm sticking with the stew.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. All right, Peter, pick a number.
All right, let's do Jason Kidd, number 5.
Number 5, Guinness stew versus Jameson.
Now, here's the thing. I'm a whiskey guy. We're the bourbon bums. I've had a good amount, once again, shout out Jerry O'Sullivan, of really good Irish whiskey.
Yep.
Jameson is not that. I know it's popular. It's the easy thing to shoot. Give me the beef stew.
I'm gonna have to stick with the JMO here. I mean, that JMO has I put some mileage on some JMO in my earlier years.
Well, yeah, you got a little Irish in you, Joey. So
yeah,
you know,
I'm half Irish. So
your vote might count for more of this than us two.
The JMO, it's just without being able to peek behind the curtains.
I'll do some late night shots of stew.
extra chunky with the.
Oh yeah,
get some beef in there.
What you think,
right.
Jay?
So again, I'm tie breaking this. I had the Guinness stew, loved it, great. I have more recency bias. And Saturday I had some Jameson, but it was a black barrel. But it reminded me of how good Jameson can be.
Yeah, so now you should have put the black barrel bottle on that, because I had some of that too, and that's different than a regular shot of JMO that I'm getting at the Cork and Carry, or like the Roberts Roadhouse.
Yeah, no, I agree, but we have to go with the OG Jameson, and I just know that on over the weekend there'll be a couple 2-3 shots of Jameson. I'll have to make sure it's a nice full bottle. So I'm sorry, Stu.
All right. It had a good run. It had a good run.
Yeah. All right. Joey, you're up. Sorry.
Give me my 7.
All right. Jameson versus corned beef and cabbage.
Well, I'm going to stick with the JMO because, to be honest, it's a very few select dishes during this time of year that I actually enjoy. But this one, if it's not done right, it's very hard. It's so hit or miss. So I'm sticking with the JMO.
Yeah, this is easy for me. Give me the Jameson. I'd much rather have the Jameson than the corned beef and cabbage. If we're talking a corned beef sandwich, maybe I'll lean that way. But even then, I'd much rather have a pastrami on rye sandwich, where they're like cousins, right? And this is coming from someone that had neither like 2 years ago. It wasn't until Tailgate Tina gave me a pastrami sandwich at one of our tailgates that I went down the corned beef and pastrami rabbit hole. But I'd much rather it have a sandwich, and if that's the case, I'd much rather have pastrami. So I'm going with the Jameson.
Yep, Jameson for me. I'd never get corned beef and cabbage. Nope, hard no for me on that one. So, all right, Peter.
Let's do Derrick Rose, number 1.
All right, number 1, Jameson versus a car bomb.
Nah.
Wait, are we getting canceled for that, or can we still
you
call
can't
them
say that anymore.
CBs? What are they called nowadays? They're called something else.
I don't know, but
I've always known them as a
Irish
CB.
car bomb.
Yeah.
Comments help. Give us the name.
I will do as many of them as physically possible until my body gives out on me. I love car bombs. Sign me up for that. I'd much rather have that than Jameson. So
yep, and it's going to be in there anyway. So you're
number 1 with a bullet.
Yep.
Yeah. There was a story time, Sandy and me at the old Miller's Ale House in Chicago Ridge. RIP. We closed a Friday night during St. Patrick's Day weekend there once, and I think the bill receipt was as long as a CVS receipt of how many we ordered. Definitely going to do a Dublin drop.
Dublin drop.
Thank you, Prez.
And now again, we should have talked to Jerry O'Sullivan, because the green beer is definitely an America thing, and I think the Dublin drop car bomb is also an America thing. I don't think they're doing those in the motherland.
We need to fact check it.
Yeah, we'll have to get some time with him.
But I am, so sign me up for that.
Yeah. I'm with you guys, and this is a clean sweep. Peter, when we had the apartment, and I used to, live above, your wife, we used to do like the car bomb parties. St. Patrick's Day, come over.
Oh yeah. No, we were doing car bombs like year round. It could have been middle of summer. It could have been Halloween. We're doing car bombs.
Yeah, exactly. But specifically St. Patrick's Day, it was like, we're gonna get a handle of Bailey's, a handle of Jameson. What?
Time out. I don't want you to mislead our viewership.
That's true.
Because at that time,
we couldn't.
I don't know if Bailey's. It was. I don't know if it was you or your roommate. He probably listens, but I want to name him by name. But one of you two were cheap asses and were getting handles of Sean's instead of Bailey's.
Sean's Irish Record. It's still good. I'm not gonna lie.
You can't skimp out on the Bailey's, my man.
Dude, obviously this is our mid-20s, and $30 liquor bottles were a premium back then, so now I pay a $30 bottle of liquor and I'm just like, this is nothing.
Yeah, $30 is cheap nowadays.
Yeah. But back then, like a handle of Bailey's, you're like, oh my God, no way. You're telling me a handle of Sean's Irish Liqueur is only $15? Sign me up for that, man.
This explains so much, Jay, why we occasionally only did table service at the clubs, because we had to save up for these.
My man's is buying Aldi brand Bailey's.
They weren't 19-cent beers though.
They were not.
No, the only cent beers we did were 25-cent beers at Bohica's on Monday nights.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, that's around what, Midway, right?
Midway.
Yeah, it was on Archer and Cicero, where they give you like the small little plastic cup, 25-cent beers. So, all right, Jameson's out. Dublin drops or Irish Slammer shots are in.
I like the Dublin drops. I like that name.
Dublin drop.
Summer bombs is off the chart. Yeah.
Rolls right off the tongue. The Dublin drop.
All right, Joey.
Let's Let me get 12.
Okay. Dublin drop versus its maker.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hold on. We're Aloha Mr. Hands in the comments saying, "Oh my God, I know Bohicas. Do you know what it stands for? What is a Bohica?"
I do not. I do not know what Bohica stands for. I just know that they used. I just know they had 25-cent beers and wet T-shirt contests on Monday nights.
Ooh.
Wasn't it a cigar or something?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like that's where I was leaning. But Bohica could be something Latino sounding, or it could be like
Polish,
or it could be like Eastern European. Bohica is all encompassing. I don't know what it could be.
Yeah.
All right. Aloha. If in the count. Oh my God. For the people listening in the podcast, Jason.
Bohica stands for bend over. Here I come again.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, my God.
Who went? Did you vote, Joey?
This is so hard. We love shots in this house so much, but we so much more love Guinness. Give me that delicious pint.
I have a feeling that we're gonna be, people are splitting the G, even though people told me not to. I'm a split the G guy. This might be winning the tournament, so I'm going Guinness. Like, I only have it a couple times a year, but when I have it by the caseloads.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote against it. I'm still going with the car bomb for the reason of I only usually drink Guinness in the month of March, maybe sometimes in the winter months, December, January. But for the most part, though, it's 95% of it's consumed in March. I'll do a car bomb any time of the year. I did say Bohicas.
You say Bohica 3 times and he appears like Beetlejuice. Mailman Jack is now in the comments. Welcome, Jack. Yeah, I agree with you, Jay, but it's still Guinness. I'd much rather do the Guinness, even if I'm only having it for a month.
Yeah, Guinness just puts you in the mood.
It really does. Like I had 2 of them. We were out on Saturday. We were doing the split the G thing. We did our thing with TasteRealChicago.com, promo code BUMS. And we had a couple Guinnesses, me and Dougie. I honestly could have had like 12 more. Like two was almost like a tease. We had 2 and then we left and I was like, man, I need to go home and have 15 more Guinnesses. I didn't, but I will next week.
I cut out there for a minute. But I was saying I only drink Guinness primarily through March. I'll do a car bomb any time of the year. If someone says, let's do one, I'm doing one. So I'm picking a car bomb, but votes win. Guinness it is. So, all right. Who picked last? I forgot.
Joey
picked
last. Let's go Grandmama, number 2.
All right. Guinness versus fish and chips.
Damn. So here's the problem. When we started doing this, Jay, we're like, we got to add food and just Irish things because we didn't want like 6 different types of Irish whiskey, right? It would have just diluted everything. So we're like, let's add some food and drink and liquor to it. The problem is now we're at Guinness and I don't care what kind of food. Guinness is my meal. Guinness is my that's my protein for the day. That is my sustenance. So I'm going Guinness.
Fish and chips is my go-to Irish food. No matter,
it's fantastic.
It is my favorite. It's my one food. But I got to stick with the G.
Okay. Yeah, I like fish and chips, but I'm taking Guinness over fish and chips any day. So
can't underestimate a good tartar sauce though.
Nope.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, Joey, your 3 left.
Let me get Dream Team number 9.
All right, Guinness versus Irish coffee.
All right. JT,
Aaron
we're not
Rose?
here for stat corrections, JT. English, Irish, and I'm not going to say tomato because people will get really pissed about that. And I understand there's very much differences and a lot of people hate each other. So I'm not saying that much, but we don't need the stat correction.
I love a great Irish coffee, especially down in New Orleans, a frozen Aaron Rose, but I'm going to stick with the G.
You know what I'm going to do? And JT's in the comments. Bear season. Victory Irish coffees might be on the agenda for the fall. So, I'm going to put a pin in that and revisit that once Caleb Williams and the Bears go ham. So I like that. But for now, I'm still riding the Guinness.
Yeah, I had an Irish coffee for the first time, like a true Irish coffee for the first time last week, because I'm always a beer guy. Not my thing. So
No.
Guinness is.
But
Guinness is
like Irish coffee, that's like a brunch thing, right? Were you out like early?
no, this was night. This was
No,
Thursday
you
night.
can't be having Irish coffee at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
You got to try it frozen, bro.
Okay. Am I up?
you're up.
Let's
Or
go
Joe.
8.
All right, Guinness versus a Reuben.
Oh, shit. Reubens are great.
I know.
Reubens are
They are.
really good. I can't go against beer, especially this week or this, the next 2 weeks. Although we did get some shit about I don't know if you saw that, Jason. We were doing the Split the G last week, and we saw somebody in our YouTube comments saying why are you guys celebrating St. Patrick's Day so early? I'm like, this is Chicago. We're going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day for a month straight.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Right.
People were out last week. No, it's Guinness. I love a Reuben. I really do love a Reuben, but it's Guinness.
Yeah. Commenter, by the way, we even celebrate halfway to St. Patrick's Day. So, yeah, Reuben is delicious, but I'm sticking with the Guinness.
See, I'm picking Reuben. I'll eat a Reuben year round. I'll fuck with the Reuben in the summertime. Reubens are absolutely delicious. So, I was hoping Reuben would go on, come in as a late entry in the Rumble and take it. But all right, but we are democracy apparently. So, Guinness versus in the final matchup. Bangers and mash.
Oh man, I love bangers and mash. I'm a big bangers and mash guy. I'm also like a sausage and chips instead of fish and chips. If you go to Winston's, like Winston's Irish Market, they'll do a sausage and chips. People forget that I was the first Mexican to play Gaelic football in Gaelic Park back in the summer of the early 2000s. Shout out my guy Chris McNally. I was the I was gonna say I was the Jackie Robinson of Gaelic Park, but I was not. I'm not gonna say that. But I did play Gaelic football for a summer. I've got a medal somewhere to prove it. So I do like Irish sausage a lot. I like it for breakfast. I like it for lunch. I like bangers and mash, but I still am gonna go Guinness.
I know what Joey's picking.
You already know. I said it from the outset. This time of year for me, it's I'm sorry. The Irish is coming out of my pores. I got to drink. So I'm doing Guinness.
Yep. Guinness is the winner, guys.
I don't think that's a surprise. I think we knew that was going to be the case. But yeah. I still like the King of the Hill Royal Rumble as a concept, and especially as a prelude to St. Patrick's Day, because I'm going to have a billion Guinnesses.
Yep. All right. So that is our King of the Hill. Ooh.
Oh no! Oh no! What? I'm gonna let you keep going. Keep going, Jay. You got to find it.
There we go.
There it is.
We need to streamline some of these.
Oh yeah. Should we do a second place?
Yeah, I'm gonna say second place.
Reuben, car bomb, fish and chips.
Guinness, car bomb, Reuben for me.
Guinness, Dublin drop, fish and chips.
Yeah, and I'll go Guinness, car bomb, and then I'll do bangers and mash. Yeah, Danny Miller, the original Winston was on 63rd and Midway, on 63rd. My aunt used to live right right by Winston's.
Yeah, we used to go there all the time when I was a kid too. My mom Irish, so yeah, it was just
They had the cow,
big giant
right?
cow. Yeah, the big
cow.
giant cow
On the roof.
on
Yeah.
the roof. Yeah, good spot. Yeah, and obviously, just everything St. Patrick's in Chicago, the parade. Going to Durbin's. Day drinking, all the good stuff.
Joey P, any thoughts on a mullet?
Well, it's getting long. So you know what, Jack? Just for you, baby.
You could grow. You would look good in like a peso pluma mullet.
She won't let
I
me.
tried it 2 summers ago. It wasn't bad.
I tried too. And
Yeah,
we both we made a pact. We both tried to do it, but she put the Dublin drop on that.
Rich Bissett said dropping knowledge in the comment section is on fire today.
Fire.
So credit to everyone in the comments, because between the Bears talk and now the Irish King of the Hill, comments have been on fire.
Yeah. All right. Before we bump some people, we got to do a quick merch ad for us. Kick it.
ShySportsBums.BigCartel.com is the home for all Chicago sports bums merch. We have Bears, Hawks, socks, and Bums merch available. Anything you need to get ready for a big game or a Chicago Sports Bums event. Remember, all profits go directly back into our Whiskey at Comiskey tailgates to keep the beer and food free for everyone. So head over to ShySportsBums.BigCartel.com and pick up a couple Toot Tree shirts today.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
You call me a bum? My man, I take that with pride, with honor, that I'm a bum. I'm the king of the bums, baby.
Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum.
Bum. First off, you can see that this shirt here is going to be our Whiskey at Comiskey opening day t-shirt. It's available now if you want to get it, but if you want the limited edition with all your handles on the back, our concert style tee, that'll be dropping immediately after the tailgate. So you can buy now, buy later. Either way, buy. But also thank you for everyone who's bought our Japanese, our Mooney shirts. Been a big hit so far. So appreciate you all. All right. Get to our listener bums and MVBs. First up. Oh, we'll get that in a second. We'll get that, Rich. So stay tuned for a second. JT, MVB, Bloney and Dougie for doing a split the G challenge and trying to drink just enough Guinness to split the G on the Guinness glass, spot the G on the Guinness glass where the G is.
Fun. I'm going to keep doing it. I love it. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yep. Bubble League men who denied the G spot exists. Ha.
Are we still talking beer here?
Yeah.
I think we are.
Hopefully. Maybe not.
Jackie Treehorn, MVB, Dougie for the barrel aged stout hookup. He's a good. He's the stout plug.
He is.
Yeah. Bum of the week, StubHub seller that tried to scam me with the all session MVC tourney tickets that were only one session. I feel like StubHub keeps on getting scammed now more easily than they used to. That seems like it's a problem.
Yeah, not great, Bob.
Yeah, they also got. Remember when they got scammed for the dude, the comedian from Everybody Loves Raymond, who's going to be at the Bolingbrook Comedy Club? I don't know if you guys heard that.
No. Do tell.
Oh, what's the guy's name? From Everybody Loves Raymond.
The brother?
Yeah.
What was his name on those like Jimmy John's ads? Like
Brad Garrett.
Tony Bolonevich. That motherfucker stole my name.
So someone scammed StubHub that Brad Garrett was going to be at a comedy club out here in Bolingbrook, and people started buying tickets, and then StubHub and the comedy club had to come out and be like, no, he's actually not scheduled to perform. We would love him to, but he's not. That's not a real show. So people got scammed on StubHub for a Brad Garrett comedy show.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Mike, MVB, the Blackhawks were giving Troy Murray the recognition he deserves. RAP. Yes. Rest in peace. Blackhawks legend. Bum of the week, Mother Nature for having a 70-degree day in March when I had to work. I'm still taking it.
Yeah. You can't complain about those. You just take them.
Nope. Yep. Next up, King ass MVB, false spring. Nope, not.
What are we complaining about this for? I loved it. Even if it's one day, it's going to be like 28 next week, Sunday and Monday. We're back to winter. Enjoy the nice weather while it lasts.
Yeah. Bum of the week, daylight savings time. Just pick one time and stick to it. Stick to the now.
That's literally what we talked about to start the show. I agree.
Yep.
Cindy Brown, MVBs, the White Sox social media team posting videos of Shane Smith being named opening day starter, and RIP to Troy Murray, forever a Blackhawk. Yeah, good job for Shane Smith getting. I think that was pretty much well known.
Yeah.
The way he played last season, that he was going to be the guy. Bum of the week, CHSN for not having Schifrin and Stone during last Saturday's telecast versus Mariners. I don't know what the fuck CHN is doing with their spring training coverage, but it's a fucking joke, and it needs to be fixed for next season. You have your own, like we said, you have your own station, and you're not having your main people or every game broadcast. It's a joke.
That's not good. You know what? I do want to talk a little bit about the Sox social media team posting the Shane Smith being named opening day starter thing, because they've been doing this a bunch last year, and I think they got really good publicity for it whenever the players were getting called up, right? We saw it a couple times when a couple of the Sox kids were getting called up. They had the videos and the cameras in the coach's room, and it's like a feel-good story. And even like, the Shane Smith one was cool. They can't be doing this too often. You got to pick and choose your spots of when you're doing the office, manager camera. I just don't want them to keep doing it because they know like they're getting good publicity for it. I'm going to say it right now. 2 times a year. That's all you get. If I see it more than twice this year, and you already did once before the season even started, I'm bumming the week in them.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be genuine when they pull that card.
Yep. All right. Next up, we got Jeff. Bum the NFL for officially not giving the Bears their comp picks. Yeah, big bum for them. NFL sucks. Goodell sucks. Finally. Mailman Jack, MVBs, all the various fast food CEOs posting videos of them eating their product, one more ridiculous than the other, all trying to dunk on McDonald's. It was just the ridiculous distraction we all needed. But those are funny. Bum of the week, everyone who said something like this to me today, how about this weather, huh? Like they did something. It's trying to be folksy.
Positive vibes. Vibes.
All right. Joey, kick us off for bums and MVBs.
Bum of the week. It took me a minute to think of one over this weekend. A bunch of fun times, but I'll just call out the United Center again, just because I'm going to run them back-to-back weeks. And these guys, it's hard to get into this parking lot for this season ticket holder event that we had yesterday at the United Center. They told us that the parking lot's open at 12:30. Doors are supposed to open at 1 p.m. So, I get down there a little early with the wife, about 10 minutes after 12, a couple 20, 30 minutes early. And then you find out, hey, the gates are open when you drive down Adams. Let's pull in. They got the security pickup truck right there. And the kid comes out and he's like, hey, what's going on? You guys here for the Hawks? Yeah. Come back in 20 more minutes. I'm like, what? You already see some cars parked in the lot. He's like, no, you guys got to come back. Sorry. So like, all right, cool. Go and, we have a Guinness, by all means. We had a Guinness at the Billy Goat Tavern to kill about 20 minutes since it's 2 blocks away, Sandy P and I. And we make it back at about 12:28. We're thinking, it's all her. Let's chug. Let's go. We'll be back there a couple minutes before 12:30. Bang. You got a line of cars literally almost past Ashland trying to get into this parking lot, one way in. And it's the same kid. And not only that, now they're checking tickets to make sure that you can get this free parking in this whole Lot K area of that side of the United Center. So, it was epic fail. Again, United Center operations, get your stuff together.
Brutal.
It was. MVB, couple. Dougie Freshness. We continued the field trip with Dougie out to Allstate Arena yesterday. Been wanting to check out a Chicago Wolves game with our guy, and absolute blast. Can't thank Douglas enough for that. Using his government name, yes, I did. And the Chicago Bulls put out, a pretty good show. It was a barn burner. I think that game went to overtime and scored a total of 13 goals.
Woo!
13 goals.
That's a lot of shots.
It was a lot of shots, a whole lot of shots. But yeah, and obvious other MVP, Rob, for coming on and dropping his insights tonight. That was awesome. Got me even more hyped. He's awesome. Thank you, Rob. So that's what I got this week, boys.
All right, I'm going to start off my bum of the week. A little bit similar to your Joe. It's the Blackhawks for the garage sale event yesterday. You and Dougie have hyped it up for the past couple of years, saying it's a great, opportunity to get a bunch of merch. And everyone seemed disappointed and pissed off by the lack of availability. No hats, jerseys, just everyday sweaters, hoodies, t-shirt. There wasn't any t-shirts. So yeah, I think, the fact that they used to have the whole atrium full, according to you guys, and they didn't have, they maybe had like a third of it this time, and it was all gone within 45 minutes. Bum of the week, Blackhawks for putting that on.
That sucks, because I know you guys were hyped about it. Do you know where you could find really good Blackhawks merch for cheap?
ShySportsbums.BigCartel.com.
That's damn right.
Yeah.
And then my MVP is going to go out to our friend Jose, Sad Sox fan on the Twitter machine, for the very generous Whiskey at Comiskey donation that we got last night. So we appreciate Jose for that. Can't wait to party with you in Lot B in a couple weeks. So
hell yeah, hermano.
Excited about that. Like we mentioned before, not necessary, but it goes a long way with keeping the lights on. So we appreciate him and his family.
Yeah. All right, Peter, take us home.
All right, I got a couple bums and a couple MVBs. So like you mentioned, Jose, obviously, awesome. Obviously, everyone at tasterealchicago.com, Jim and JP Graziano's, you could see me with the hat. You could see me with all the stuff back there. We have a lot of things planned for, Jim and JP Graziano's and tasterealchicago.com. I'm excited for, opening day and, the sandwiches, but also the Chicago heat check is, as I had mentioned, we're going to be doing, White Sox content, and it's all sponsored by JP Graziano's. So thank you to everyone over there. And then my bums, I'll go quick and a couple of them because people had mentioned it. NFL commissioner. I mean, what the hell, man? The Bears deserved the compensatory picks for Ian Cunningham. There's no, you could ask the people in Atlanta. He's making the decision. They said he's making decisions. Like, how is it that the Bears, of all the teams listed today, were not getting comp picks? That was crazy. Ryan Poles kind of was vocal about it and making us think about it all of last week, and rightfully so. It's crazy that they didn't, at this point, if you're not going to give the Bears comp picks, the Rooney Rule, you got to figure it out. Because obviously it's meant, as a whole, the Rooney Rule is meant, and its heart is in the right place, but it's broken. You got to figure it out. You got to fix it somehow. So NFL commissioner, I think he eventually makes it on all of our graphics because for the end of the year, bum of the year. But yeah, Roger Goodell is one of them. The other one, I got it up here. My Sox Summer talked about it on the 108 podcast, but I've had this, in the chamber since then. It's the Chicago Tribune, and specifically Paul Sullivan, for, as I mentioned, just not knowing ball. Because if you think that Jason Benetti leaving was one of the worst organizational mistakes since Harry Carey's departure, you just don't know White Sox baseball. What are we talking about at this point? And you guys know that I'm a Schrift guy. There's no mistakes about it. I'm open with my, for the Schrift dog. But at this point, it's not even a Schrift and Benetti thing. It's just people not being able to move on from Jason Benetti. It's like a fucking breakup that you just can't get over. Just move on with your life. It's going to get better. Whether it's not this person or the next person or the next person after that, eventually you're going to find love again. Jason Benetti left, and now he left again. So it's he was going to leave eventually from the White Sox. So get over it. Anyone still, complaining about it. Just get over it. And then my last bum of the week. And it's something that I guess it's a product. I don't want to say a product of our own success because that sounds like cocky. But being monetized on YouTube, we can't share all of the WBC highlights that I want to share. You know, the YouTube copyright laws and like DMCA laws, because there's so many good highlights from the World Baseball Classic that we just can't share right now. Like I would have had like 15 different clips ready to go, whether it's, you know, Joey, the Mexican team and the Mexican fans singing Tragos Amargo or El Rey, or, you know, everyone from like the Dominican Republic going ham, or like just all of these different clips that I would love to share with the world to, you know, grow baseball. We can't even play monetized music. We can't do any of that. We got to figure that out eventually, whether it's here, YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, whatever, all of that. You know, copyright rules, I understand why they are there, but like there's got to be some flexibility, especially if you're trying to grow the game. The WBC has been awesome. I'm looking at the score right now. I think it's still 5-3. I love it. I think it's only growing from here. We sang the WBC's praises, you know, last time it was around, and it keeps getting better. So there's things they got to tweak, you know, like the copyright laws and also like the insurance rules about it, because a lot of players can't play due to insurance, but they're almost there, man. I'm a sucker for the World Cup. I love the World Cup. I'm going to be talking World Cup all summer long. This is close, man. The WBC is there. You see people and players and fans, like the passion is there. So I love it. So bum of the week, YouTube copyright laws and all of that stuff.
Yep.
That's
all right. Peter, what's on the Baloney Show on Wednesday?
It's Oscar season, baby. I've got Bob Pants, our guy, old school friend of the program. He hasn't been on since like episode 100 of the BumCast. He's going to be on the Baloney Show talking all things Oscars. We're going to do our favorites, who we think we're going to win. I'll talk a little bit. He's a big Detroit sports fan, so maybe we'll touch on a little bit of Tigers and Lions talk, but it's going to be an Oscars heavy Baloney Show with our guy, Bob Pants.
All right. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we want to thank you to JP Graziano's and Taste Real Chicago for partnering with us for the season for White Sox, and for obviously for the home opener. We're going to have all the delicious sandwiches. Yes, you will be able to get the Mr. G, the Italian, and all the other good stuff. Like I said, we're probably somewhere down the line, we'll do some beef, you know, with the fabulous beef kits. There'll be all the good jardinera that he's got there. So, and we're going to do fun stuff with JP's throughout the season. So, content-wise, contest-wise, just keep your eye out for everything like that. And if you haven't already, RSVP for Whiskey at Comiskey opening day, April 2nd. It's been a week. We have over 200 RSVPs already. It's insane. We love everyone who's super hyped about opening day and our tailgates. I hope the lobby and the people there are ready for a takeover of Sox fans there, because it's going to be a madhouse, especially with Malort, Manuscrito, and Maker's Mark and off hours. It's going to be a great time. So looking forward to that. And we might have some other stuff to announce before then. So tease.
The hits keep coming, baby.
Yep.
Got a little bit for everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. Thanks everyone who watched and commented, super chat. We love you all. Thanks to Rob Schwarz Jr. for coming on, talking Bears with us for an hour. We appreciate him. And everyone, have a great week and stay safe out there for St. Patrick's Day.
Deuces.